Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for November 2022. This week, you start off with you have three cards here. You have this Believe in the Impossible Blue Moon card. Conclusions are within reach, this Full Moon Eclipse card. And you have this Show the World the Real You. So I feel for some of you that there's clearly a new beginning. And this could have to do with a transformation that you are going through. I feel there's a lot of transformations for you, kind of Taurus, especially with Uranus and Taurus. But I wouldn't say that these transformations are necessarily, I think, of course, we're always making transformations. But for you in particular, because of Uranus and Taurus, I feel there's a major, major focus on kind of quality, meaning that you want to have quality experiences. And I think that's the transformations that you're making. Like if you're in a situation, work, business, relationship, whatever, doesn't matter if you're not getting like the quality that you expect, which, these expectations are probably coming from like source or something like that, right? Then you're probably just going to transform past those situations. And you could be making some quick cuts here, which we definitely see showing up in the reading. But some of these things might also not happen so quickly. Some of these things might be more of a slow kind of process where you decide that you don't want something. At the beginning of the reading, by the way, you had the tower kind of wanting to pop out here. So I wouldn't really consider it a pop out, but as I was shuffling, I saw it, and then when I was pulling the cards at the end, I don't know if you saw it in the beginning, but it kind of like flipped over. So it is interesting. It's something we will keep in mind. Almost every single person has had the tower again. So, it could be just a global tower moment. You have the Six of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Queen of Wands here. Again, I really feel that you're really going for what you want with this Queen of Wands energy. Right off the bat as well, this is your past position, by the way. And right off the bat, though, Taurus, going Ace of Pentacles to the Ten of Swords, I wouldn't be too worried if things are being taken from your life at this time. And I'm not talking about, just losing something that's super important to you. I don't think that's what this is, that Ten of Swords, because you have the Sun right after it. But what I would say, and again, I read holistically. People always say to me, you have the Ten of Swords. This is the worst reading ever. I'm like, literally every single card in this reading is positive except for the Ten of Swords. I'm like, one card does not make the reading, So, but what I would say is that there might be some moments where you feel like something is being taken away from you. But again, I feel like you're kind of it's pushing you clearly towards the Sun, Empress, Ace of Pentacles, Chariot, pushing you towards some sort of victory. But I do feel for a lot of you that there is a turnaround coming in for you here. I feel this is a turnaround where you've been hoping for a turnaround. I think we all are, right? We're all kind of hoping for things to improve. We're all hoping that things in certain areas of our life get better, based off the past few years, right? But Six of Cups, of course, can represent innocence and nostalgia, can represent the past. But for you, I kind of feel that it's more of a gift. The Six of Cups is also considered to be like a gift from the universe. And I always say usually the gift we receive from the Six of Cups is like the removal of obstacles. So maybe we've been trying to accomplish something and the Six of Cups comes in and it's kind of like the gift. I don't think you have the gift yet, if I'm being honest. And that doesn't mean you're not going to get it, because I feel like you are, but I just don't think it's here yet. Again, at least in the past, it hasn't been here. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is like being very sure of yourself, which I love. Again, I feel if the best advice here in this reading is to embrace that Queen of Wands energy. And again, it doesn't matter what gender you are. I would be embracing that bold, assertive, really certain of yourself type of energy, even if you're not. I wouldn't really call this false confidence, but, sometimes I do get a little bit of kind of fake it till you make it vibes from the Queen of Wands. Although I'm not a big fan of fake it till you make it. I think we should just be whatever we want to be. It's just that simple. But, what I would say is I feel like there's a need to be confident for you here, Taurus, in whatever it is that you're doing. Sometimes I think that's all the universe requires of us, right? It just requires us to be very sure that we want something, whatever it is. Like you could be building a business. You're clearly moving towards something. Sun, Empress, Chariot, something, Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles as well. This is amazing. But what I would say is I think the more sure of yourself you are, the more confirmations that you're going to be getting. That's kind of like the word that's popping into my head. With the Six of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands here. Again, the thing about the Knight of Wands is it can be inconsistent energy, but maybe what you have been asking for, or what you've been saying to the universe is what's inconsistent, So I think if you can just kind of make a decision and stick with it, then that'll probably be the best thing for you. Again, if you're having a hard time with this, which I've always had a hard time with this, I would break life down into quarters, and I would say maybe you're feeling oh, I'm not sure, maybe you want love, for example, and you're oh, I'm not sure if I actually want love though. Well, it's why not try it for a quarter, right? For just 3 months and just say, you know what, universe, I want love this quarter and just commit to that 3 months, right? And just see what happens. See if you like it. See if you don't. But again, I think, that's something that changed my life is breaking things down into 3-month blocks, I use it mostly for business, but you can use it for whatever you want, right? But because then you're being clear with the universe, you're saying, I want this for this amount of time. And then you don't have to also be stuck doing something you don't want to do. I don't know, it's popping into my head. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Knight of Swords. So again, no rushing at this time. Again, Knight of Swords is kind of like a card of being hasty. Normally, the horse that the Knight of Swords is on kind of looks a little bit stressed out. Looks like he's kind of forcing the horse to take action. So I wouldn't try to force anything, at this time for sure. It's definitely popping into my head. I do feel there could be communication coming in for you there as well. Next, with the Queen of Wands, you have the Death card. So we talked about this at the beginning of the reading. Clearly, there's a big transformation that you're going through. But again, I feel for you, it's quite simple. It's like if something doesn't make you feel confident, then you're not going to do it. Or if something makes you feel like a certain way, I feel you're going to kind of remove those things from your life with that Queen of Wands energy. I get a very choppy energy, especially going up to that Ten of Swords, where I feel like you're kind of cutting out the crap, which someone else had a very similar message. I don't remember who. But, I definitely get that energy pretty much for the collective, but I think it's the strongest for you. You have this eagle spirit, says spirit has your back, and you also have this seahorse, it says watch and wait. Again, I think that this is your present position, by the way, and I feel that if you kind of give things like 3 months, like I said, then you're going to get a lot more information than if you're just kind of running around and, trying different things and kind of switching up and being inconsistent. So, trust me, I'm a Pisces. I've been very inconsistent in my life, right? Or maybe to the outside world, I seem that way. But what I would say is that I think if you can just choose, say, okay, it's only 3 months or, whatever time frame you want on the things that you want to experience in life, then there's going to be a lot more consistency. I also feel for those of you that are thinking about leaving anything in your life with that Ten of Swords, again, that could be a good thing. Sometimes I think we choose tarot, meaning that, yeah, maybe the Ten of Swords isn't a great card, but at the same time, sometimes I feel we can say, I want to end something with the hopes of bringing in new blessings. And we'll talk about that when we get to that Ten of Swords. But, I kind of feel like you understand that you are guided, that you are protected, that you are safe at this time, and that really the universe has your back. You have the Four of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. As I've been saying to you for a very long time, I feel that you're always going to have the Four of Wands in your readings. Four of Wands can also, of course, be a card of marriage. And, there is a little bit of love here. But what I would really say is that the Four of Wands is a card of freedom. And, Taurus has a major focus on freedom until Uranus leaves your sign. And again, just because a planet leaves your sign doesn't mean you're going to stop wanting whatever that thing is. So I don't think this is going to, even when Uranus leaves at the end of 2025, I don't think you're going to want to stop looking for freedom or things that make you feel free. And, again, that's different for everyone. For some people, prison is free, right? Is freedom. So, we all want different things. And what I would say here is that I feel, you're just very focused on freedom. I feel a lot of stuff about synchronicities on that Four of Wands as well. But I also feel like some of you, I feel, could be very spiritual at this time for whatever reasons popping into my head. Like you could be listening to people's spiritual stories online, like near-death experiences, things like that. Because I feel, for whatever reason, I don't know why it's popping into my head other than the fact that I think that maybe listening to some of those things, again, if that resonates with you, it could be just giving you that eagle spirit kind of confidence that the universe has your back. So I feel like some of you are doing that. For others, it could just be like motivational videos or, anything that, again, makes you feel more confident. You have the Ace of Pentacles showing up here as well. Ace of Pentacles is like a new beginning, and it's also a card of growing something. It's a card of growing a garden. And I've been saying this to you forever, that you're a Taurus. I mean, Uranus and Taurus, you're definitely going to be growing a garden. So I would, again, make sure you're watering things that grow in your life. Make sure you're giving them fertilizer, energy, gratitude. I think gratitude and love are probably the greatest fertilizers. That if you're, looking for something, if you're saying, what is the fertilizer? Again, I would say gratitude and love, expressing gratitude for the things that are growing in your life and just loving the things, just showing them love, whatever they are. I think that's enough and probably will get things growing faster. And here you go. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Again, it's pretty weird to me that almost every single person, it's like for the most of the year, the universe was like, experiment, try a bunch of different things and see what grows, right, in your garden. And lately, it's kind of changing to, okay, now that you have been experimenting and trying new things, it's time for you to pick something and put all your time, effort, and energy into it. Eight of Pentacles is like mastering a craft. So if you've been working on something for a very long period of time, or if you finally found something, that's growing in your business or your love life, again, this is a very general reading. I would say it's not focusing on just like one thing or the other. What I would say is, obviously focus on it. If you're worried that you're running out of time, I would say, I don't think you're running out of time. You go this way, Sun, to the Knight of Pentacles. I definitely wouldn't wait around, but if you haven't discovered something that is growing in an area of your life that you would like to see grow, I feel like you have plenty of time here, like at the end of the year, to discover something, that you can give fertilizer to. like I said, with the Four of Wands, you have the King of Pentacles here. So I feel for a lot of you, this is obviously your energy. And again, I feel there's just like a major focus on you kind of becoming free or setting yourself free. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Temperance card. Yeah, a lot of this like temperance, turnaround energy also coming up for people. Again, you have the Six of Pentacles as well. I'm sorry, the Six of Cups in your reading. So I feel for a lot of you, Six of Cups, turnaround, temperance is alchemy, turning one thing into another. So I feel for a lot of you, you have the power to turn anything you want into whatever you want. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the King of Swords. You have a lot of people showing up in your reading. So it could be a very busy month, could be a very social month, but I also feel that Eight of Pentacles is a card of mastering your craft. King of Swords is a card of mastery. So a lot of you could be like mastering a new skill. You could be mastering your business or your love life, whatever it is, take it how it resonates. And I just think this is like your energy. You're just mastering your craft or mastering something in your life. Next, in the area of the future, you have this Knight card. It says triumph over adversity. Love it. So if there was an ending with that Ten of Swords, then you're going to overcome it. You also have this love card. It says true love and fidelity. So if you want love, I definitely feel there's love coming in here. For some of you, I'm wondering if there's like travel involving love. And if there is, then, this could be you overcoming any blockages with travel, or maybe you're like trying to get the money for travel, for example. And you have that Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords can represent overcoming an obstacle, kind of. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But you have the Sun in the Chariot, which is obviously travel. And again, the reason I'm saying travel, also this Knight card here as well. Knights kind of represent movement and travel and all that other stuff. For others, I kind of feel this is saying that, again, there are things that you probably do love maybe a little bit more than normal, like your business or an idea. So if you find yourself like falling in love with an idea, which I think is a great thing to do right now, then what I would say is put your energy into it, with that Knight card. There are probably going to be obstacles, of course, that's life, but I feel you'll easily be able to overcome your obstacles. You have the Ten of Swords, the Sun, in the Chariot. See, I'm wondering if something needs to be let go of, Ten of Swords is something being dead, done, over with. You can see here he's making this symbol with his hands that represents a blessing. So it's like you're thinking about blessings, which we talked about earlier in the reading, but it's like something has to be let go of. For some of you, I can't even tell what it is, because like I almost feel, I'm not calling you out here, Taurus, but I almost feel like you're blocking me from seeing what this is. And I'm not saying you're doing that on purpose. I'm just saying, I kind of feel this energy of like, I can't see what it is that you don't want to let go of. For some of you, that's not going to be for all of you. For others, again, I feel this is just an obstacle to be overcome. I personally don't consider the Ten of Swords to be that bad, because tens to me in the tarot are completion. They kind of say it's the ending to something. And this guy has 10 swords in his back. He is definitely dead. It does not take more than 10 swords to kill a person. It does not take, this to me is a card of overkill. It's basically saying that something is dead, done, over with completely. So I feel for some of you, there is something that you could be needing to let go of. And again, when we clarify, we'll kind of look into that. You have the Sun card here. So I definitely feel a ton of happiness coming in for you, and joy, laughter. I'm getting like all those things. I do feel like you need a little bit more entertainment as in your life as well. I don't know what's going on, but pretty much everyone has been like, I think sometimes, let's just put it this way. If you're working too much, it's like, that's a certain type of chaotic energy, right? And then if you're playing too much, that's also a certain type of chaotic energy. But I feel like the two need to kind of like come together here. A lot of people have been getting this message, and that maybe we should be making sure we're taking some time to like, create a piece of art, or just do something that allows your brain to melt. Because I feel like if you're only in like one type of chaos or the other, then you're just creating chaos instead of kind of organized chaos, right? And that's what I don't know why that's popping into my head, but and really I think that, when I've been most stuck in my life personally, it's when I'm not doing things like going for walks or allowing myself to have fun or going out with friends. It's like in those moments you leave your brain, you know what I mean? You can stop thinking about work, business, your ex girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, right? You can stop thinking about those things in those moments. And I think just giving your brain a break is such a good thing sometimes. And that sun, for whatever reason, is definitely saying that to me. You have this Chariot card, so definitely travel coming up for you, I feel. You could be leaving where you have always been as well. He's got this city behind him, and he's kind of looking for, whatever. He's really down. He's just down to clown. He's just down for an adventure. He's down to go find greener pastures or to set up his own city, right? He's looking for a way to live his own life. And I feel that's like what's most important for you here. It's like there's a million ways you can read the Chariot, but for you, I feel if you're leaving anything, whatever it is, job, business, a relationship with that Ten of Swords, I feel it could be any one of those things. It could be anything. Then I feel like you're going somewhere where you can find more love, but this is your own personal love. It's like things that make you happy. We're not necessarily talking about love, although that could be part of it. Look at this, with the Ten of Swords, you have the Empress. This is like what's on the other side of a difficult ending. I'm wondering if you have to, for some of you, you might have to let a person go. Could be a little bit difficult. For others, this is about, again, moving or traveling or changing jobs. And, maybe there are just some attachments there, not in a bad way. Just, I think sometimes, if you've been working somewhere for 20 years, maybe you have a lot of friends. Maybe it feels like family, and maybe your boss has been great, but also maybe it's time for you to go somewhere else. So that's kind of what this feels like to me, and I feel once you bring it to an end, there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming in for you. With the Sun, you have the Seven of Swords. See, I think you can't, it's you can no longer lie to yourself with the Seven of Swords. It's it's time to do things differently. The thing with the Seven of Swords is it can represent lying, cheating, stealing, and again, some of you could be ending a situation with a person who did that, but I don't think that's the main thing this represents. To me, the Seven of Swords is actually a good card, and if you read anything about tarot, golden cards are always positive. Seven of Swords is a golden card, and really it represents doing things differently. He's using tactics to steal those swords from an army that's in the background. So, I feel for some of you, it's you're doing things kind of differently in your life. With the Chariot, you have the Four of Wands, so more freedom. Again, definitely setting yourself free. It's kind of interesting to me that the Chariot has come up so much. It's he's leaving that city behind. And, it kind of got me thinking, a couple weeks ago, because I've been seeing the Chariot a lot in readings. And it kind of got me thinking that, I'm wondering if it's people are trying to almost find their place where they can be free. And that's what it looks like you're doing. It's if you think about it, if you're in a city, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people working. There's a lot of things moving around. There's, just a lot of chaos. He's kind of, going on this journey away from the city. He might be trying to find a place where he can stand out, where he can get attention. He might be trying to find a place where maybe there's a slower pace of life or there's a certain amount of freedom. And that's kind of what I see this as for you. The whole entire reading really is basically saying that. So there you go. Next, Taurus, for your outcome, you have this Directions Journey card. It's a ship card. It says Directions Journey, definitely traveling. You also have this cat. It says Jealousy and Gossip. Every single person has had a card of Jealousy and Gossip. And again, we have Mars retrograde. I would ignore jealousy, gossip, all that stuff, public outbursts. I would be careful with what you're putting on social media, things like that, because, during Mars retrograde, it always comes back to bite us. So I would just be careful. Like I've said to everyone, because again, I kid you not, every single person has had a card of jealousy. I would just completely ignore it under Mars retrograde. With the travel card, again, wouldn't surprise me if some of you were literally traveling. Just looking here, I feel like you kind of have a direction. This card says direction on it, and you have this Knight of Pentacles. So Knight of Pentacles, Empress, Devil. The Knight of Pentacles to me is saying that you have a direction. You can even see that he's aiming more towards even further into the future in your reading. But he's the only knight that isn't moving in the tarot. He has all the knowledge and wisdom he needs to plant seeds in these fields back here, but he's being too cautious. He's playing it safe. So I kind of get this feeling of needing to make sure that you're not playing it safe. Part of me understands where you're coming from because of this Devil. It's maybe you've experienced toxic people or places or things in the past, so you're wanting to make sure that you don't enter into another toxic situation if this is love, but it doesn't even have to be love, because I feel this could also be work or business or pretty much any situation. These people are attached here by chains. So they're feeling stuck and bound to the devil. And again, I think some of you are just kind of saying like, I want to maintain my freedom. Exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. I want to make sure I'm not entering into a job where I'm, stuck for 20 years. I want to make sure that I have the freedom to kind of create things. And here you go. With the Empress, you showing up in a very strong position. I love that you have the Empress twice. But I feel like you're kind of like in this creative mode, She is very abundant. She's very attractive. So definitely, I feel you're very attractive at this time, Taurus. But she's kind of like in creative mode, and that's where I feel like you are. I feel like you're in this like creative zone or creative mode where you're kind of like, I want to make sure that I enter into all situations that give me creative freedom, right? Maybe you want to enter into relationships where you can kind of be creative in how you create the relationship, or maybe this is businesses where same thing, you want the creative freedom to change what you're doing if you need to, right? So that's maybe part of this freedom that you're looking for. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Wands. Again, a lot of people showing up here. You have the Queen of Wands twice. You basically start and end with the Queen of Wands. So be bold, be assertive, go for what you want. Don't worry about what other people think. With the Empress, you have the Nine of Wands, card of experimentation. So I feel like it's a good time for experimentation. As I always say, like probably, I don't want to discourage anyone from experimenting, but what I would say is that probably 99 out of 100 ideas you try aren't going to work. But I promise you, as someone who experiments constantly, that, when you discover that one thing that works, it works so well that, it kind of makes up for all the losses. And I'm not saying you're going to have losses. I'm just saying you're going to have to keep trying. I also feel like there's something that needs to come out here with that Empress and the Nine of Wands. It's kind of like, I feel like she's maybe hiding behind the Nine of Wands boundaries, so maybe something needs to come out here. With the Devil, you have the Queen of Pentacles as well. So Queen of Pentacles is about resourcefulness. You have the King and Queen of, you have the King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles right here. So some of you could be attracting an Earth sign, definitely could lead to marriage here, because you have the Four of Wands twice, and you have that love card. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a solid love connection. Could be someone with a lot of Earth in their chart as well. You have a lot of fire here as well, so it could also be a fire sign, but take it how it resonates. I feel like there's mutual attraction there. For all of you, I would also say that Queen of Pentacles represents resourcefulness. She represents using your resources, that you have at your disposal. I think pretty much all of us are in a time where maybe we're having to be resourceful. Sorry, I just dropped all those cards. But, where we have to be resourceful. So, put your thinking cap on as far as resources are concerned. But I'm going to pull 3 cards. I'm just going to answer one question with these 3 cards. And if you don't have a question, that's fine too. I'm going to put them all together at the end, kind of like a personalish reading. But these are the 3 cards. Feel free to pause the reading. If you need time to think of your questions, pause it now. And you have the 4 cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Death card. So I feel like some of you are like, if you asked a question, I feel like you're trying to force something here. And the Death card is basically saying, I feel like there's a simple change that could make something a lot easier. So 4 cups is kind of like being disappointed by what you're being offered, right? And the Knight of Swords is like trying to rush in to be too hasty and not accept the offer. But the Death card is encouraging change. And I feel like there is going to be a new beginning. It's kind of funny because what's popping into my head for pretty much all of you is that, maybe some of you have gotten some information or news about something like a relationship or a business or a job in your life, and it was maybe not so great. But I almost feel like the Death card is saying no reactions with the Knight of Swords at this time because things are about to change. There could be a major change where maybe you got some disappointing news, but it actually turns into something better or good. Or maybe some things change until the news changes. And I don't know, it's kind of like what's popping into my head here. So a pretty good reading here, Taurus. I would just keep focusing on things that make you feel free, whatever those things are, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. Maybe it's meditating, whatever you can do, I would do it because I feel it's going to greatly improve your finances, pretty much everything.